In this video, we're going to be designing this canister here in the front. So grab a cylinder and let's make sure that it's not super dense. I think 32 is enough. And we're going to scale it down and move it somewhere here, so GY. And we're going to rotate it on X-axis, holding control, so we can snap it to, to this angle here. And we're going to scale it down a bit more. Scale it a bit more, SCZ, and make it bigger, like that. Cool, let's sharpen it. Let's apply scale here, so Control A, apply scale. Select both faces and Control B them. 10 segments is enough, I think. Something like this will do. Let's remove the sharp edges, so select everything in edit mode, Q, and unmark, because we don't need that. Here we're going to create a cat, so Control B, scroll down, and Alt and macro, move your mouse in, and sharpen. We can bevel this and drop the bevel down so it's not so huge. This canister maybe it's too fat, so S Shift ZZ and just make it a bit smaller. Something like this maybe. Shouldn't be too thick though, so S Shift ZZ, make it a bit thinner. So it's not super thick. It's a bit thicker than the gun, but not not super thick. Something like that. And the angle is okay. Cool. So now we're going to borrow this area here. So Control R. We're gonna click here with Alt. We're going to shift click on curve extract and make it bigger. And sharpen. And we're going to go to edit mode and occlude. And we're going to select the top part here. And GZZ and move it in. Now what I want is to kind of fit this canister in this area here somewhere, like this, close to the trigger, somewhere in this area. We're gonna cut this one with an end gun, so we're gonna perform a cut in here, maybe like this. Okay, some kind of an opening. Cool. So it's gonna be we can move it closer, GY, somewhere here. Okay, cool. Maybe a little bit further away. And then I will scroll this GY and move it in. There we go. And this one should be deeper, so GZZ and move it deeper. And we're going to edit this a little bit, right? So Control R here and Control B to split it, and Alt click. Just turn this off. Alt click here. This one is solidified, so I tell you what, let's select all these on the top and X and delete that, so we're left with just a cylinder, because it's gonna be easier to adjust it. Okay, so alright, so with this one we're gonna actually make it a little bit larger, and we're gonna solidify it inside. Okay, so modification and solidify inside, like this. Okay, and then scale it in. There we go. So when we're going to be adding stuff, you can see that very easily. So Control R, another loop here, and this loop should be GG somewhere here. Okay, Control B that, and in fact a bit wider like this. And then we're gonna grab that and S Shift ZZ and scale it. So scale it a bit, something like this maybe. GZZ and move it here, S Shift ZZ, make it a bit wider. Cool. Another one here, and then split it, and then grab that, S Shift ZZ and scale it down, and something like this. Move this one a little bit further up here and grab these two and Control B, and let's add 6 segments is fine. So there's kind of like a a transition here, but I'm not sure about this. I prefer the transition to be on this side, I think. There you go. And this one I think should be sharp. So let's just sharpen this and bevel it. And we're going to bevel, alt click and drop down the bevel so we can actually catch this angle here. We're gonna create some kind of a cut here. So Control B, scroll down, and Alt and macro and just insert it. Then another one should be probably somewhere here. So Control B and Alt and macro. And I think that would do. It's pretty cool. We will need some additional element on the bottom, but we can do it later. Here we can move this a bit closer, or move this cutter in. So I have a scroll and GY, move it a bit in here, like that, right? And this one could be a little bit lower, so somewhere here, right? Cool. This might be a bit too big, so GZZ, you can always move it inside a bit, And that's that. Let's apply the modifications, so Smart Apply. Now this could be moved up, so GZZ, and move it up a bit, just a little bit, like that. Maybe a bit more, so 2 more of these, GZZ, move it somewhere here. And we could run a security loop here, just in case. And that's cool. And we could, increase the bevel a little bit. Do something like this. That's cool. I like that. Awesome. Here we could use another cut, I think. So Alt and macro, and Alright, so now it's at the cube, and let's move it in here, scale it down, scale it on the y-axis, move it up, and scale it on the x, so it's narrower. And we're going to scale it down and move it somewhere here, and maybe something like this, Let's make this bigger, and one more time, here, 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 and here, and here, right? Okay. How are we looking? Looking pretty good. So let's sharpen it. Let's make sure that these are rounded. So Control B. And we're going to apply scale first. Control A, apply scale. And we're gonna have maybe 4 segments. Oh, let's make it 6. 6 segments, okay, cool. And let's move it somewhere here. We're gonna create a cutout here, so let's just remove this because we don't need it. And here we're going to create a cutout. Alright, like this. And press B and cut it out. Cool. Then, actually this one could be a little bit more beveled, so I have a scroll and bevel. Like this. And here I think this should be a little bit longer. SY and scale it a bit like this and move it here. And this cut here should be a bit narrower. And then we're gonna apply scale, Control apply scale, GY, and move it somewhere here. And here we're gonna create cuts. So one cut here, like this, B. And we're gonna just, cut it inside a little bit. And let's just set the bevel because I can't see what's happening. And weight the normals. And then another one here. GY a little bit in here. So here we could draw something like this. And maybe like that, B, and make it a bit smaller bevel. And extrude it in. Not too deep. And click, how we look it. That's actually pretty cool, I like that. And here we could create an interesting cut with the inset, so kind of like that. And then XXX and press T for solidification and move your mouse and find this solidification amount. And that would do, I think. This part here could be beveled, so we could bevel this, but we could bevel it up to here. So let's apply that. So select that and operations and let's multiply. And we're gonna grab this edge here and we're gonna bevel it. So bevel it. But before we bevel it, we need to fix this edge here, this one, okay? So we're gonna run a knife like this and press space. And we're gonna remove this. So dissolve that one more time and run a bevel here. With 6 segments is more than enough. I think 4 even is gonna do, to be honest. Yep. And remove the sharp edges because we don't need them. And Alt X and D, symmetry, and symmetrize to the other side. Cool. Now here in this middle section, Shift D, Alt R to reset rotation, RX90, and we're gonna scale it down. We're gonna mirror to the other side, so press X to reset it and mirror, and then we're gonna scale it down, move it in here, and let's go to occlude in edit mode. Select this part and GY and move it like that, so it's wider, and then scale it down and move it somewhere here, maybe somewhere here. Make it a bit bigger and move it somewhere here. And we could actually move this forward. Maybe this one is a bit too big. So GY and move it in here. Grab this and grab all of it here and GY and move it in. And you get something like that, which is pretty cool. Here in the front we need something too, so we can grab this bit here. Okay. And Shift Curve Extract and move it down. And we can scale it on a little bit on X-axis, so it's a little bit narrower than this barrel, right? Cool. And we're gonna actually solidify it a bit more, so solidify it a bit more, and then we're going to cut it here like this and like that. Cool. And sharpen. And we don't need it here, so we're gonna remove it from from this area. Right. Cool. And then we're going to bevel this. So sharpen and bevel. I'm gonna bevel these two. Control B. And we could actually make this narrower, so SX and make it narrower. And we could chamfer this here. So create a chamfer, scroll down and lower the bevel because it's insane, and remove sharp edges and add weighted normals, and there we go. And that's that. And on top of it here we're gonna have a handle on the front, but this should go a little bit deeper, I think. Somewhere here maybe even. So select that and cut it. And this could be, this bottom part could be cut in here somewhere. Or even diagonally like this. There we go. And there's gonna be a handle here, somewhere in this area. This still is too long, I think. GY and move it in a bit. And cut it off. There we go. And then the handle's gonna be, here. It's gonna make sense, right? Cool. So for the handle, we're gonna borrow the barrel shape. So we're gonna grab these, okay? And we're going to, Shift Curve Extract that like this. And let's go to local view, and we're gonna cut these bits off because we don't need them. Anything with booleans, we don't need it, okay? You can remove all the booleans from here. Apply this to booleans. Solidification could be applied, but not yet, to be honest, because I need to mold it. Okay, let's select this bit here, go to edit mode. Let's actually apply the booleans. So apply the boolean and apply the boolean, and we're gonna get these funky things. So let's just press 3 to clean it. There you go. And we need to now grab these two, and we need to bevel them. So Control B and scroll. 6 segments each, I think it's enough. So it's kind of like a soft, you know, transition between them. Let's remove all the sharp edges. Solidification is way too much, so modifier solidification, make it smaller. We need to Shift S and to geometry and make the shape bigger, but Shift Y to make it bigger on all axes except Y. How we looking here? We're looking pretty good. Let's mirror this across this barrel. There we go, that's better. Let's apply weighted normals. Okay. And this is way too long, right? So SY and scale it. GY and move it somewhere here. And we need to cut it, so we're gonna cut it like this here. Okay. Cut it steeply here. And more locks in the back like that. Okay. Cool. How are we looking? Well, we're looking pretty decent. We're gonna cut it in here like this, and probably cut it here like this as well. Maybe more relaxed cut in the back. So there's a space for a hand. Sharpen this, and then we could make this a bit wider. So select these on GY. Move it a little bit here, so it's a bit wider, you know, it's a bit longer, easier to grip, okay? And the bevel here, let me see that. Select this on bevel, press 1. That didn't work, okay? What we're gonna do, I think this is flipped, guys, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna check the solidification. It could be a little bit less take, to be honest. So, wait a minute, what the hell is going on here? It's like a secondary solidification going on or something. Oh, the solidification is applied already, right? Okay, fine. So what we're gonna do is we're going to turn this pass through, select all these faces. We're gonna click Alt S and we're gonna scale it on normals in, okay? Just decrease the solidification a bit. Maybe a bit more, Alt S and move your mouse down. Cool. Select everything, and then we're going to go to Alt N and flip outside. Boom, that fixed his faces here. And we do have some shading problem on this side here, and this is due to cut. Okay, so we're gonna create a cut like that to flatten it. So Shift V view, that was a problem. So let's cut it again here, like this. Okay, cool. Same here. And this should fix the issue. So sharpen. Perfect. Let's go back. Awesome. Here we could round it up a bit on these sides, so it's not so harsh. Let me see that. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So we can remove the sharp edges with mark, and I think we're done. So now we need to mirror this, right? So mirror this across, you know, this one to the other side, and let's apply everything. So let's multiply, Shift S, and to geometry. So the origin point is back here. So now we need a loop across. So box and do something like this, and press K and slice it. So we're gonna have a loop, and we can select this here from here all the way to here. And Shift Curve Extract, and a little bit less, maybe actually this should do. And we're going to apply that, so sharpen, and we're gonna grab these two edges here and, you know, kind of Control B them, but before we do that, we need to remove this bit. So dissolve edge. Select these two again, Control B, and 4 segments is enough. Select everything and then mark it. We're going to apply weighted normals. Okay, so we got that going on, and we could select these two, or this one of them, and press O for proportional editing, G, scroll your mouse down here, and GX, and move it in on the X-axis. Come on, GX, scroll your mouse down, kind of like this, What's the shading now here? Shading is actually okay. Cool. So one more time. Alt X, X and mirror. Okay. And we're gonna scale it in a bit. So, scale it in a bit. So it's kind of inside of this shape. This is gonna be baked, So move it somewhere here and rate it. Press X and let's grab 4 of them. Should be enough. Hold shift and sort of distribute them here. So when you grab this, it's gonna be kind of comfy. Comfy to grab. This could be probably a little bit narrower. So, make it a bit more narrower. Something like this. And move it to the middle maybe. Maybe. There you go. And I think this will do. And what we also could do is go to occlude mode here and select this top bit and SX. We're still in this proportional editing, SY, sorry, proportional editing mode. So we can do something like this, you see. It's pretty cool what you can do with it. And this should be fine. Let me see how we're looking in terms of shading. Yeah, we're looking okay. The bevel is breaking, so the bevel could be a little bit less insane. There we go. And this this part here breaks. So what we could do is select this entire loop here, right? RY and just turn off proportional editing, press O, RY and rotate this loop like that. So it's gonna ease off a bit. And we could actually split it into maybe 2. And sort of smooth it in like this, and it's gonna get mirrored to the other side. And we could we could run some bevels here, to be honest, as well. So we could select the whole thing around, right? Okay, and run a bevel on top of it. So like this. But I think this is just gonna be too much, to be honest. Let me see that. Well, we can leave it. I mean, it's going to be baked anyway, so this can be smooth. And since it's going to be baked, what you could do, you could combine these into quads, okay? Because this is all quads except for these. Now we have quads almost everywhere, right? Well, that's not going to work. So what we can do is... That's not going to work because of the bevel. We could create triangles here, so combine that. And simply Control 1 or Control 2, and it's gonna be really smooth, okay? Because now it's it's subdivided. I don't even know if we need a bevel, to be honest. So we can kind of turn it off and on. Yeah, you probably don't need a bevel. Bevel just affects the inner part. So quite frankly, we can just switch it off, and we're gonna be fine. And we can simply scale it in a little bit more and kind of create a very smooth sort of grip, and this is going to be baked. It's going to look really cool. So this is cool. Now here in this canister we need 2 more things, so let's grab this and Control B to create this kind of a situation, and Shift Curve Extract and create kind of like a sort of a belt. So with this one now, what we're going to do is select this ring here, so Alt click, right? And Control click Curve Extract and grab this thin ring here on the top. Select one face, Control I, and delete everything else. We're gonna use one face for this. So now let's Shift S into Geo. We're gonna scale it down. We're gonna grab one of these and GG and move it in, right? And SCZ to make it larger, right? Maybe like this even. Cool, so now let's extrude it. In fact, SZZ, and let's scale it. A better idea, GZZ, move it in here. Scale this one in, and then we're gonna array this on this axis, okay? Let's select this face and let's go here and click on this plus and GZ, there we go, and move it in. Okay, cool. And G, and then let's reset it to global, GZZ, cool. And what we're gonna do now is add the second array. So let's apply this array, all right? So we're gonna apply it, and we're going to move origin here, shift S into geo, and then shift S into selected. So the cursor is in the middle here, and then we're going to go to mesh tools with this bit selected here, and control click on radial array, and you should get this array. Just increase the number of iterations to whatever number you want, and this is way too big, so we're gonna scale it in. So, you know, gonna do something like this. This can be very easily baked, right? And then we're going to select both of them, Shift D, go to local view, and we need to apply the array here. So operations and multiply, and we're going to GZZ, sorry, and move it up here, right? So we're gonna have two of these, GZZ, right? Cool. Select this canister and this loop here, GG, move it up a bit. And, you know, let's just maybe a summer here, and Control B and Q, Altium macro, and insert it inside. This plate on the bottom has to be copied too. Shift D, Y, ZZ, and move it in here. And, you know, Bob's uncle. And we can hide these. These are radial array empties, and this looks pretty cool. It's kind of like, you know, looks like you could grip it and pull it out, and I think it looks pretty bloody awesome. So let's save it, and then we still need something here. So Shift D that canister here, and we're gonna rotate it like this, and SCZ, scale it, make it a bit more fat and maybe more thick, and move it somewhere here. Okay, and rotate it, you know, like that. Holy control. We're gonna need some kind of a pipe here, and also we can cut this gun here through, so there's some kind of an opening. So let's grab a you know, cut and cutter, and just slices in view mode. So Shift V view, cool, and cut it in here, right? Press B, and we're gonna go with, yeah, 6 segments is enough, I think, and just shift click. We're gonna recall this. We're gonna recall this and just, you know, change the bevel size because it's insane. Now let's see what we're getting. GZZ, and drop it down like this. That's cool. Actually, it could be deeper than that. So GZZ, you know, deeper here. That's awesome. What is this? Oh, that's interesting. It's cut out here like this. So what we could do is cut this like that. Okay, and then apply this, the modifiers, and extend it like this. Okay, so GY and extend it, and then go back. There we go, that's better. So we got this going on here, and we do need a cut here though. So one more time, let's grab this end gun and cut it here, here, and here, right? Like this, right? Awesome. And then we need a pipe here, so we can design it with a curve. It's really easy to do it with our Kiblerator, but, you know, we can just grab a plane and move it in here, grab all the verts, and press Shift 1 to bunch up them in the middle. And simply with this vert selected, we're going to create a cable. So going down here and going like this, and maybe something like this, okay? And then we're going to select all these points, Shift Control B them, like that, and then we're gonna use curve extract with the hard ups. So press S to smooth it, and there you go. And we can bring it up here, so make it smaller and smaller, and you know, bring it somewhere here and rotate it a bit. And then you got yourself, you know, this kind of a cheesy pipe situation. No one's gonna be looking here, but you know, we can insert it like that. Okay, cool. And this one goes inside over there. This could thicken at the end as well here, so we could, you know, visual to mesh and grab these. So maybe grab it from here, Control R, and go to occlude B, select everything, right, including this. So Shift click and scale it like that. Wow, that's not gonna work. Let's just Control B that. There we go. Alt click here, Control plus, and then scale it. Whoa. Where's the let me see that, Shift S to geometry. There we go. And then scale it. Cool. Shift Y, so scale it on every axis but not Y, and you know, create something like this. And we could, you know, bevel this here, so 4 segments. No one's gonna be looking that deep anyway, but you know, it's just something over there, which is pretty cool. This pipe here on the bottom, can delete it, and we're done. Alright guys, well that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. We're gonna wrap up the gun, and then we're gonna move into the scope, and we're done.